Hello, this is Unlock 3, listening and speaking for B1. This is day 4, this is week 4, day 4. In this video, we focus on the relative clauses and how they work. Relative clauses. Let's begin with the meaning of clause. What is a clause? A clause is part of a sentence, and it looks like a sentence. It means that it has a subject and a verb. I hate people. This is an example of a sentence because it has a subject and a verb. Every sentence in English has a subject and a verb, and sometimes other parts like an object here. I don't like animals is another example of a sentence, and I don't like supermarkets is another example of a sentence. So these are three sentences. Each of them have a subject, verb, subject, verb, subject, verb. When you think about this person, what kind of person do you think this is? He hates people, or she hates people. It probably means that he or she doesn't have many friends. He or she doesn't like animals, so he or she doesn't like supermarkets. Very negative sounding person. Now look at this. I hate people who tell lies. I don't like animals which attack people. I don't like supermarkets where you have to wait in line for a long time. So what is the difference between this sentence and this sentence? When you read this sentence, you feel like this person is very negative, but when you read this sentence, I hate people who tell lies, your idea about this person has probably changed. Look at this one. I don't like animals. And look at this one. I don't like animals which attack people. So there is a big difference in the meaning of this sentence and this one. I don't like supermarkets. I don't like supermarkets where you have to wait in line for a long time. So these three are examples of a sentence with a relative clause. So these three are examples of sentences, and these three are examples of sentences with a relative clause. I hate people, that's a sentence. Who tell lies is a relative clause. I don't like animals is a sentence. Which attack people is a relative clause. So this is a sentence with a relative clause. I don't like supermarkets is a sentence. Where you have to wait in line for a long time is a relative clause. So what does a relative clause do? So what is the function of a relative clause? Maybe if you compare this sentence and this sentence, you will understand what does it do. A relative clause defines the word or phrase before it. Let's look at this example again. I hate people who tell lies. Who tell lies is a relative clause, and it defines the word or phrase before it. What is the word or phrase before it? This, people. So it defines the word people. It tells you this, which people. So when I say, I hate people, you can ask me this question, which people? All people? No, not all people. I hate people who tell lies. So I am defining this word. Not all people, but the people who tell lies. Similarly, I don't like animals. If I say I don't like animals, it means all animals. But if I say I don't like animals which attack people, now you understand which animals. I don't like supermarkets. Which supermarkets? All of them? No, I don't like supermarkets where you have to wait in line for a long time. So, relative clauses define a word or phrase before before it. In this case, a relative clause works like an adjective. Look at this, for example, unreliable people. Unreliable is an adjective and it describes the word people. People who tell lies. Who tell lies is a relative clause and it defines the word people. So it works like an adjective. And this is why sometimes they are also called adjective clauses. So relative clauses are sometimes called adjective clauses in some grammar books. Let's look at relative clauses and understand what is a relative pronoun. Look at this example again. People who tell lies, and the relative pronoun is, people is the subject, and it is about people, and the relative pronoun is who. The second example, animals which attack. This sentence is about animals, and we have the relative pronoun which. The third example is places where you have to wait. So this is about places, and the relative pronoun that describe places is where. So we use different relative pronouns for different kind of words that we need to define. When you are defining people, we can use who. When you are defining animals, you can use which, or when you are defining places, you can use where. In this example, a relative clause has a relative pronoun plus a verb. So after a relative pronoun, you need a verb. For example, in this example, people who tell. Who is a relative pronoun and tell is a verb. In this example, animals which attack, which is a relative pronoun and attack is a verb. And in this example, places where you have to, where is a relative pronoun and you have to wait, that's a verb. Now please go to page 58 and look at exercise 5. In this exercise, you will complete the sentences, the blanks, with which, where, or who. Pause the video here, do the exercise, and come back to check your answers. Here are the answers in 3, 2, 1. Okay, the first one is who, because Tutankhamun is a person. The second one is which, because tomb is a thing. The third one is where, because this is a place. The Egyptian museum is a place. And the fourth one is which, because book is a thing. Number 5 is who, because farmer is a person. And the last one is where, because the city is a place. A relative clause can also help you when you don't know or cannot remember a word. So it is a very useful tool actually in speaking. Imagine that you don't know the English word for this object, or maybe you know it but you cannot remember it. You want to speak about it like this. When I was in China, I bought well, it's a thing which is made of ceramic and in which you put flowers. A vase? Oh yeah, I bought a vase. So, in this example, you don't remember the word, but you can explain this word with relative clauses. So it's a thing, right? It's an object, it's a thing, which is made of ceramic and in which you put flowers. Do you remember this picture from a few videos ago? Let's imagine that you don't remember the English word to describe his job. I watched a movie yesterday about, what do you call it? It's a person who studies things from the past. So this relative clause here describes a person who studies things from the past. It means that you don't remember the name, you don't remember the English words to describe his job, but you can still describe it using a relative clause. On BBC Learning English website, there is a YouTube video about defining relative clauses. It's nice. Maybe you should spend 5 or 6 more minutes to watch this. When you are watching this video, maybe you should subscribe to this channel and check their playlist. There are really nice, useful videos for different grammar points. You can find this link in the description below. In this video, we focused on relative clauses and we discussed how they work and why they are important to learn. Now go to the next video to study the key vocabulary for listening to.